Hello, everyone, and welcome to another segment of PBBI. That's the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute at California State University, Fresno. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are happy to be with you. We're going to talk to you a little bit today about some of our ongoing events at PBBI at Fresno State. Remember that the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute is a new system at Fresno State. We have been, of course, in collaboration with the different colleges and the different areas of studies at Fresno State. But we are, in essence, a part of three colleges: the College of Arts and Humanities, the Jordan College of Agricultural Science and Technology, and the College of Social Science. And so we at Fresno State are very, very proud, and through the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute, we're very, very proud of course, our ongoing events that we have at Fresno State. And I am going to share with you a little bit one of our different platforms, which is Filamentos, that is the arts and letters platform that we have at Fresno State. I'd like to share this with you and talk to you a little bit about some of the things that are going on and some of the ongoing events, sometimes a bit behind the scenes. But what's important is that we have this service for the Portuguese American community throughout the state of California, throughout, of course, the whole United States, and even beyond. Because, as many of you know, what we do at Fresno State is something that touches many different folks in different parts of also of California and different parts, of course, of the United States, different parts of the world, different parts of also the various aspects of the Portuguese-speaking world, especially. So we have a platform called Filamentos, Artes e Letras. It is funded by the Luso-American Development Foundation from FLAD, Lisbon, Portugal. And FLAD has been a very important part of what we do at California State University, Fresno, and we are grateful that they continue with their grant from year to year. They have for the last 6 years, and we hope to continue for at least another three or four, or many more to come as well. So, Filamentos Artes e Letras, you can just Google it. Google Filamentos Artes e Letras, and it'll take you to that. It actually is a name that we conceived many years ago. It was the name of a symposium, a literary and artistic symposium that was done kind of as a residency almost for Portuguese American and Portuguese writers, mostly from the archipelago of the Azores. We had funding from the archipelago of the Azores. We had funding from FLAT at the time as well, and from other institutions, Portuguese cultural institutions, and also from the community as well. It began in 1990. It ended in 2012. It was supposed to be a 10-year program that continued for 12 years, two more than we expected. And it ended, as I said, in 2002. So basically a little over 20 years ago. So from that name, and since it was such an important part of the cultural scene in not just the valley, not just the Central Valley, and not just Tulare where it was housed, but throughout the state of California. We used to have anywhere between 60 to 80 people, cultural activists and community leaders from different parts of the state attend, as well as lots of community folks as well. And of course, we always had educational activities for students at the high schools and colleges. And so it was really a worthwhile event that we did through the Centro Português de Evangelização e Cultura, CPEC, at here in Tulare. And so from that name, and since it has not been in existence for 23 years, we brought back Filamentos as a platform for arts and letters. And just to show you a little bit of what we do, so if you go on there, you'll see that many of them are in English. So that's why I'm conducting this in English, but it is bilingual. There are things in Portuguese as well. But we have an ongoing segment, for example, 10th Island with José Andrade, who is the regional director of Azorean communities for the government of the Azores. He has a weekly segment, some of his writings that he's done about the diaspora in Portuguese that we translate to English, and we have a weekly segment. So basically about 45 different segments per year. We take a week off here and there, but at least 45 per year called the 10th Island. And we've been doing this for about a year now with Jose Andrade. We also have, of course, different things such as poetry. So, for example, you can just click on it and you'll see here's a poem, bilingual poem, actually, by poet Rose Angelina Batista. This is a segment that we called To Belong, We Change, Para Pertencer, Mudamos. The poem is in English, and then she also has the poem in Portuguese as well. So that is one way that we have, of course, some bilingual things as well. But then we have others in English and also bilingual. So this month of April, and through the Bruma publications. All of this is done through our Bruma publications, which is part of the California State University Fresno, the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute. We are promoting the National Poetry Month in the United States. So the U.S. has dedicated for many, many decades now April as Poetry Month. And so many cultural institutions take advantage and promote different aspects of poetry. And we do too by promoting Portuguese authors, whether it be in Portuguese or translation. We have an ongoing, that I'll show you in a little bit, a poetry festival, which is the largest Portuguese language and Portuguese expression poetry in North America. We will have over 90 voices in 30 days, usually three, sometimes four poets per day. But we also have this in writing, like this segment that we now call Salted Words, Translated Worlds, Portuguese poets in English. And here's one of the poems translated by Anna Hudson, translated in 2013, called I Saw Rome Burning. And then here's the Portuguese of it and a little bit about the poet, António Franco Alexandre. So it is our Bruma Poetry Festival. Again, it is a Portuguese language and Portuguese expression poetry in North America. It is the largest of its kind, of course, here in not just the United States, but the United States, Canada, and Mexico as well. And so if you go down, there's many other stories. So you'll see three different stories in English. Many of them are things that are written originally in Portuguese, but they're translated through PBBI for our audience here in an English-speaking audience. So it's a way to promote very heavily Azorean themes and Portuguese diaspora themes in English to our second, third, fourth, and fifth generations. Some we maintain in Portuguese, such as this one by my good friend Vamberto Freitas. It's called Do Atlântico ao Mundo, so literally from the Atlantic to the world. As análises literárias de Vamberto Freitas, the literary criticism of Vamberto Freitas. So Vamberto has been writing about the Azorean diaspora and some of our writers for longer than anyone else. I know there are others that are writing about it now, and some trying to say that they were the first to invent this or to write about that. But indeed, before many in the Portuguese American academic world wrote about the diaspora experience, Vamberto was writing about it here in California and then back in the Azores, where he taught for many years, for almost 30 years at the University of the Azores. And so this one here is called Filha do Destino. It's a piece done on this book, Daughters of Providence. So Vamberto has been writing about these for many years. So we're going to the past, and because many people probably didn't have the opportunity to read it here in the diaspora, we're keeping them, of course, in Portuguese for those who read in Portuguese, and we're promoting them here on a weekly basis through Filamentos, Artes e Letras. So again, it is a cultural platform. It's all about books and arts and music and painters, and we also have a special feature on the books that we publish through Bruma Publications, such as this one here called The Human Flame of José Pedro Leite, Poetry as Light, Flesh, and Connection. And I wrote this piece and said about the book that we published with Letras Lavadas, calling Rising of the Shadows, translated by Luisa Maria Correia and myself as well. And both Luisinha Correia and myself worked on this. She worked tirelessly on this translation. So it is in English. The book has been translated to English. And here is a piece, an analytical piece on the book, trying to tell you a little bit, or trying to enticing you to kind of order the book. And if you do order the book, you can order directly from PBBI. At the end of the piece, there's the information. You have to please allow 3 weeks for it to get to you. Costs $12, including shipping and handling, and checks made out. All of the checks, any donation, any product is made out to Fresno State Foundation as a donation for this book. If you are living in a European country, in a European Union country, you can order directly from Letras Lavadas, our wonderful partners in the Azores, and you can order directly from them. It costs 12 euros as well. They'll ship it anywhere in the Azores, anywhere in all of Portugal, including Madeira, and any European Union country. So once again, pieces that we do on books that we publish through PBBI at Fresno State. And next week, we're actually going to have a small segment talking exclusively about Bruma publications. So please tune in. So again, it's called Filamentos, Artes e Letras. So pretty simple. You can Google it. Just Google Filamentos, Artes e Letras, or Filamentos, go directly to filamentosarteseletras.art. And of course, you'll be able to look at any of these. As I said, it's about 80% in English and 20% in Portuguese. So for just about every 10 stories that we have in English, we have 2 in Portuguese. And some of those 2 that are in Portuguese are always also bilingual, like the poem here by Rose Angelina Batista, and some others as well. But as you can see, then you have 3 in English, then you have another one in English, 1 in Portuguese, another one in English, and so we have a few in Portuguese here and there, but the great majority are taking some writings in Portuguese and translating it to English, as this ongoing segment that we have by writer Helena Barros, who resides in the beautiful island of Santa Maria in the Azores. She writes an op-ed about every 2 weeks on culture to the newspaper, written and published originally in the newspaper Açoriano Oriental. She gives us the authorization, I should say, to translate it into English, and we publish it here after it's published, about a week or so after it's published in the Açoriano Oriental and in English. And so here it is, Helena Barros, who is a writer who resides in the beautiful island of Santa Maria in the Azores. So you can follow her along with many others here through Filamentos, Artes e Letras. Some of the pieces that we have on are also not just funded by the Luso American Development Foundation, who funds the platform as well, but also we have funding from the Luso American Education Foundation here in the Valley. As many of you know, throughout the state of California, throughout the entire nation, Luso American Education Foundation has been an important partner of many of the cultural things that happen here throughout the state of California and throughout the United States as well. So be on the lookout, because Luso American Education Foundation has funded lots of different projects, including, of course, scholarships for our students. And what we try to do is also promote some of the events that the Luso American Education Foundation does. It's, as we say in Portuguese, uma mão lava a outra e as duas lavam a cara. So, sort of kind of scratch my back, will scratch your back, a kind of a colloquialism in English. And we promote, as we're doing right now, the Luso American Education Foundation Cultural Youth Summer Camp. It is from July 9th through July 13th of 2025. We're very proud that it's going to come to Fresno, CSU Fresno, California State University, Fresno. Go Bulldogs. And it is open to students from the ages of 13 to 17. It's $500 per camper. 10% discount for those who are members of the Luso American Education Foundation. And for more information, there's, of course, the email, the website, and the telephone that you can call. So also do look at some of these sponsors that we have, because they're important in helping us fund this project that basically, as you can see, we have it on almost a daily basis. So, for example, the 11th today, we have had 1 story. On the 10th, we had 2. We had 3, I should say, 4, quite a few of them on the 10th. We didn't have anything on the 9th, but we had 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 8th as well. So most days we have at least 1 story. Some days we do not, but we make up by having 2 or 3 the following day or the preceding day. So, Filamentos, Artes e Letras. If you are interested in knowing things about the Azores, if you are interested in knowing what's going on culturally about the Azores, if you are interested in the creativity that happens in the archipelago of the Azores, a little bit also in Madeira, and if you are interested in what's going on culturally as well in the creative arts, in the diaspora, in the Azorean diaspora, especially in North America, but also we have some features from Brazil as well and from Bermuda. We are a source for you. Knowing the Azores, knowing what's going on in the Azores, not just knowing when the sopas are served. It is also knowing about the creative arts, about folks who spend their time creating, whether it be in literature, in poetry, in fiction, in essays, whether it be in the fine arts, whether it be in painting, some of our visual artists, whether it be also in music. We tried to bring it to you through Filamentos. It's kind of a cultural dialogue between the diaspora, the Portuguese communities abroad from the Azores and the Azorean archipelago, and also that dialogue that's going on culturally between the Azores archipelago and the not just the Azorean archipelago, but the Madeira Islands and also mainland Portugal and its diaspora. So, Filamentos Artes e Letras is a product of the Portuguese Beyond Borders Institute, that is PBBI from California State University, Fresno. Again, check it out. We thank you all for your support. We thank you all as we continue to build this cultural movement around Fresno State and all that is Portuguese in the West Coast, and certainly in the state of California, and most certainly in the central San Joaquin Valley. Once again, on behalf of PBBI, California State University of Fresno, it is actually now officially the beginning of the spring break at Fresno State, but PBBI will be here next week with 2 or 3 different segments as our work never ceases, because we continue to build these platforms and these bridges with the community and those who are not of Azorean ancestry but like to know a bit more about culture, about books, about publications, about music, about art in general. PBBI through Filamentos, our platform, Filamentos Artes e Letras, is certainly an answer to all of that. Thank you again, and enjoy the spring break, those of you who are students or teachers, and enjoy, of course, the spring weather that is throughout many parts of the United States, and certainly spring is here flourishing in Central California. Take care,